Welcome to the Home Buying Club. Today we're going to talk about the next part of the home buying process. So when you're going through the home buying process, you want to be organized. If you are not organized, I promise you, it is going to be a very stressful process. Buying a home is not stressful. Buying a home should be fun. This is going to be most people's largest purchase ever in life. So if it's going to be the largest purchase that you make sure you enjoy it. So one of the things that I want to talk about that I don't see really anybody really addressing is putting together a home buying folder. And a home buying folder is simply all of the documents that you will need during the home buying and pre-approval process. Because when you put together your home buying folder, these are the documents that your loan officer will be requesting from you. And if you have these documents already in one place, guess what? It makes your process very simple and very straightforward. Now, what I recommend you do, go out, if you don't already have something in your home, go find your folder or a flash drive where you can kind of scan all your documents on, but you also probably want to try to have at least a hard copy of your documents, because what you want to be able to do is to access these documents as quickly as possible, because you never know when your loan officer will request them from you. Now, we're going to go through the list, and you can put this list together in any way, shape, or form, but just know that these are the documents that you will need when you begin the pre-approval process. The first document you're going to need is a copy of your ID. You want to create a color copy, clear copy of your ID. On your ID, you want to make sure that it's not expired, and you want to make sure your address and your other information is correct on your ID. The next copy that you will need is your Social Security card. You want to make sure, again, you have a clear copy. You also want to make sure that you have the last 2 months of your bank statement. For those of you that are going to have money coming from a savings account, you want to have the last 2 months of statements for that account as well. And on either statement, you want to make sure you include all pages, even the blank pages. The next set of documents you want to have are your paycheck stubs. You want to have the last 30 days. So that means if you get paid once a month, that means you only have one bank statement. If you get paid every 2 weeks, you would have 2. And if you get paid every week, you will have 4 paycheck stubs. You want to make sure that these paycheck stubs are crystal clear, because they will be looking at your gross income, and they'll be looking at some of your additional deductions that you have, because your paycheck stub is going to basically tell them how much income that you make from your job. The next statement that you want to have is the last 2 years of your federal tax return. If you do not have your tax returns current for the last 2 years, that would automatically disqualify you from buying a home, because they want to make sure that you are filing your tax. What most people may never tell you, the reason being, if you have not filed your taxes and you owe the IRS, guess what? They could potentially put a lien on your house. And if you lose your house for whatever reason, the bank will be responsible for paying that, and they don't want to do that. So you want to make sure that you have your last 2 years tax return, and make sure you sign your name on page 2 of both returns. The next item you want to have in your home buying folder is your 401k or retirement statement. If you will be using any of those funds for your down payment, then you want to have your most recent statement for that account. And the very last thing that you want to have in your home buying folder is the contact name and phone number for someone at your job who can verify your employment and verify your income. Now, typically this needs to be someone in your payroll department, because your supervisor can confirm your employment, but they cannot confirm your income. So you want to make sure that you have a contact in your payroll department that can do that. Those of you who may have a special number that a person needs to call to verify, and a code that they need, then you want to make sure you have all that information written down and available. And then one thing that I want to add that I think is really important that a lot of people, miss. If you have anything that's questionable, that is questionable either on your credit report, that is questionable with your job, you want to have what's called an LOE. An LOE is a letter of explanation. That LOE basically says, during this time period, this happens. So for example, if you know during COVID you were out of work for say 2 months and you were on unemployment, then you want to make sure during these 2 months I was not working because what? Because when you now stack your file and you have all the explanations and you have all your documentation, it makes your process incredibly easy, okay, and stress-free. I've had so many clients go through the home buying process and they get a little bit antsy because they haven't heard anything. Well, if you haven't heard anything, that's a good thing, because that means if you've submitted everything that they need, they don't have any additional questions, guess what? Your process is moving along very smoothly. So if you can, put all of your documents together, put them in a folder, and I would also save a copy on a flash drive, keep it with you once you begin the home buying process. And anytime your loan officer contacts you, you will have your information. During your home buying process, all you have to do each and every month is keep your most recent paycheck stubs and your most recent bank statement, and you're good, okay? I hope this information has been helpful. I'll see you in the next video.